If you're watching this video, you are not where you want to be in your life right now, especially if you're in your 40s or in midlife crisis. You're working at a job that you don't love, nor are you making the money that you thought you would be. You don't have a car or the house that everybody expects you to have at this point. You don't even have a girlfriend or even a wife or family or kids. Heck, if you're like me, you might have had all of those things, but have just lost it all to a nasty divorce, and now faced with starting to rebuild your life from scratch all over again at the age of 40. And whatever the situation, you're questioning, what is the purpose of life? Well, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is that you're not the only one dealing with this. There's a lot of guys around the world who are asking themselves the same question. Bad news is life doesn't get any easier from here. If anything, it gets way more harder. The hits keep on coming, and you have to ask yourself a very critical question. How do I want to live this second half of my life? And in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 3 major focus areas that you need to develop in order to not just survive, but to also thrive in what is going to be the next exciting chapter in your life. Now, the first area that you need to focus on, I think, is quite obvious, especially if you're in your 40s or in midlife, and that's your physical fitness, your physical health. And it really boils down to one known fact about our bodies at this age. We start losing muscle mass at the age of 30 and onwards. And so you got to imagine, if you don't do anything, you continue to start deteriorating. Okay. And so I'm at the age of 45 right now, and I could see how so many men at my age have just let go. And it's all because they have this mentality that they don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks of them, which is fine. Your looks don't necessarily matter, but your health absolutely matters. And for some reason, a lot of men tend to just let go of their health as soon as they have kids or as soon as they hit a certain age, thinking, well, I don't need to try hard anymore. Well, that's completely far from the truth. If anything, you do need to try just as hard, if not harder, as you age. Mainly because you don't want to be dealing with any ailments or any issues when you're just trying to do basic functions in life and even just trying to enjoy life. I remember there was a point in time where I was so out of shape. I was drinking a lot, I was smoking a lot, cigarettes and weed, that I just couldn't keep up with my kids playing in the backyard. And they were having so much fun. They were trying to encourage me to play with them. And it was at that moment that I realized, yeah, I did fuck up and that I needed to change something. And as soon as I turned my health around, complete 180, not only was I able to keep up with my kids, but their whole perspective of me completely changed. There's something about being a fit dad that helps in not just inspiring your kids, but also getting them to respect you and be more disciplined. Because let's face it, who wants to fuck around when your dad looks strong as hell? So your health is absolutely paramount at this stage in life. Because if you're gonna work towards achieving certain goals, especially financially, where now you have a little bit more freedom to enjoy the things you've always wanted to in life, what's the point in building all of that when you can't even physically do any of those activities? It's like that question, what's the point of winning the lottery if you're physically not capable to enjoy it all? So focus on your health. And again, you don't need to get super ripped, but you do need to have regular exercise on a weekly basis. Minimum 3 days a week, either lifting weights, playing sports, and if you can, get out for 30 minutes a day to do walks. You can even split that up into 2 15-minute walks. but that'll keep your body in good shape, flexible, and capable to perform not just life's basic functions, but if you're building muscle, you'll gain strength as well to do other things and to enjoy other activities. So that's the first area. The second area that you absolutely need to develop, if you don't have it at this point, is your emotional maturity. And what I mean by that is having the ability to not just manage your emotions, but also being at a place where you accept that you have to feel these emotions, that you can't suppress it anymore. And especially using vices like alcohol, weed, whatever, drugs, whatever case may be, that's not actually helping you deal with the emotion properly. And that having that emotional maturity also means that you're able now to engage with other people, gather the opinions of other people in order to form your own level of discernment in this world, which, as you can probably see, everybody's got an opinion about everything. But in order not to get swayed or to let your emotions consume you, where you live in your emotions and you decide based on emotions, you need to develop a level of maturity with them. And there's two main ways that you could do that. The first one is adopting a meditation practice. And for me, it's as simple as taking 5 minutes every single day to sit down upright and to just focus on my breath, the inward breath, focusing on the sensation of it going through your nose and then the sensation going out of your mouth, and counting as high as you can within that 5 minutes. And even if you lose count, you can restart again. But the whole point of it is to take your mind away from all of the junk and clutter and noise that we encounter on a daily basis, whether it be with work, interacting with people, going on social media, and bringing our focus back inwards. Let me ask you, when was the last time you gave yourself permission to sit down for 5 minutes and not think about anything and only focus on your breath? Exactly. Never. And if you haven't done it, you'll be surprised at how quickly you can develop your focus, but also how quickly it calms you down and helps you to now look at problems in a more logical fashion because your mind is calm. Now, the second way to manage your emotions, again, this ties to the first one, but is finding an outlet where you can transmute them. Once you're able to calm down your mind, you can sit with your emotions, you can allow yourself to feel them, whether it be sadness, anger, despair, hopelessness. Let it pass through. It's normal. We're human. After that, you need to have an outlet to let those emotions flow out of you into something positive. It could be journaling, it could be a hobby, it could be exercise. Whatever the case may be, you'll need to transmute it into a positive activity. And in the spiritual world, they say that emotion is energy in motion. And when you try to suppress it, whether that's you trying to numb yourself with vices, or you just simply not allowing yourself to feel these emotions and let it pass through, that's what will cause a lot of mental health problems and also physical health problems. And one of the things that especially helped me to eliminate things like alcohol, weed, and tobacco from my life was finding a way to transmute it, getting better at managing my emotions, and accepting that I have to feel them. So emotional maturity is key, because as you move forward in this next half of your life, not only will you have control where you'll be able to think logically, but knowing what these emotions are will help you be more compassionate and empathetic towards others, especially as you build new relationships, whether it's a new job or even a new woman that you start dating. Now, number 3, I think, is the biggest focus area of all. And number 3 only comes into place when you combine steps number 1 and 2 with your whole life experience up until this point. Now, throughout your whole life, up until you reached midlife, you've been put through many different types of situations with many different types of people. And you felt a lot of different emotions. You felt people who have supported you, who've loved you, but you've probably also felt a lot of people who've tried to take advantage of you, manipulate you, hurt you, destroy you. And based on those experiences, if you haven't worked on number 1 and 2, what happens to you is that you eventually close your heart to the world and you just become some bitter person who doesn't see any good in the world at all. And that's the worst place that you want to be, because if you live life with a closed heart, not only will you miss out on a lot of the opportunities to enjoy life, but you essentially view the world as hell. And at the end of the day, if you haven't realized this at this point of your life, is that no matter what happens to us in life, it is our decision whether we suffer in life or not. And you have complete control to decide how you feel, how you interpret every moment, and how you decide to move your life forward. So once you understand that through your life experience, you realize that you've always had a choice all along to see the positives in everything, regardless of how mistreated, how hurt you were by other people, you're now in a position to live with an open heart. And that's what cements you as a man in today's society and what we absolutely need. Because a man with an open heart not only has the physical capability to take on life challenges, has the mental fortitude and the emotional maturity to deal with different types of people from different backgrounds. But the fact that you now go through life leading with trying to see the good in everything, it means that you can continue to give love back to the world in a place that can sometimes be so cold. Let's be honest, the world is not a nice place. It's not fair. However, if you continue to go into your midlife knowing that there's always going to be challenges, there's going to be more people who are going to try to take advantage of you, it doesn't matter anymore, because you're no longer scared to put yourself in a vulnerable spot, which is absolutely required to build new relationships and new opportunities to enjoy your life, while also being able to protect yourself when you see the red flags. And at this point, there's no more excuse anymore. You know, I see all these bitter guys who are just blaming society, the government, women for all of their problems. They become blamers and complainers. But if you go through the 3 focus areas that I just talked about, you'll achieve something which I call life 2.0, which means that you've abandoned the previous version of your life, the old mindsets that held you back, and you're now ready to live in to the next version. And no longer are you a complainer and a blamer, but you're a problem claimer and an action taker. And that's what will cement you as a man in the second half of life. And it can be the most exciting chapter yet. Now, if you're stuck trying to figure out where you can start to transform your life to get to life 2.0, hit me up in the description. I offer free consultations a week, up to 3. I'd love to talk to you and help put together a personal plan for you. But I hope this message finds you at the right time. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.